The Yonko, who are the 4 most notorious pirates in the world. Some people say 5 now because Luffy is considered a Yonko. I'm holding off a bit on that, and I'll reveal why later in this video. But today we're going to talk about how strong the Yonko are and why they should be feared and respected. And I believe for the most part, they are feared and respected. Of course, they are select Yonko that people hold on a higher pedestal than others. So of course, they're going to be fan favorites in anything. And we're going to talk about all that and just try to decipher exactly what the story wants us to know about the Yonko and the sheer level of power that the Yonko hold. To get a true idea of the scope of influence that the Yonko have, let's go back to Peckham's in Zou when talking about Big Mom. Peckham's was giving Luffy a rundown on how strong the Yonko are and how much they should be respected. Peckham's told Luffy that if Sanji got married to Pudding, that they would have to become Big Mom's subordinates, and Luffy said, well, in that case, you guys would become my followers. Then Peckham's explained to Luffy how that's not how it works with the Yonko. Peckham says, when a person with overwhelming power threatens you, the future is set in stone. Who can resist it? That is the meaning of the 4 emperors. There is simply no other option. This statement from Peckham's highlights exactly what the Yonko bring to the table. I view the Yonko as walking calamities that bring forth destruction wherever they go if they see fit. And we're going to go through each Yonko and how devastating they can be based on not only reputation, but actual feats they've done in the story. Again, the Yonko and their strength should be respected, and I'm going to highlight that. The amazing thing about the Yonko is that they are all different, but they're all devastating in their own way. We're going to start from the oldest Yonko to the fairly newest Yonkos and talk about just what makes them devastating and how it's so hard to gauge their power, but you just know that they're extremely powerful. The oldest Yonko today that we saw a lot of was Whitebeard, and Whitebeard was the first Yonko where we saw a lot of his fighting ability and somewhat is used to gauge the Yonko going forward. Whitebeard at Marineford was old and sick, but still was considered the strongest man in the world. Maybe not the strongest pirate at the time, but definitely the strongest man in the world, and Whitebeard gave the Marines a run for their money. Whitebeard of course possessed the Gura Gura no Mi, which is the Quake fruit, and with that power he had the ability to destroy the world. With this power he could destroy the world, and at Marineford we saw as much, in which Whitebeard was able to cause devastating damage to the island. The thing about Whitebeard that really sets him apart is that Whitebeard comes off as a really good man, a good person in general, and for pirates that's pretty rare because you have good pirates but there's sides to them that you really don't appreciate. For Whitebeard, he seemed like he was a wholesome guy who not only cared for his crewmates but people in general. Whitebeard's compassion is noted due to protecting Fishman Island. We saw what Jinbei was willing to do for him, and all of the people he took in on his crew because he sincerely wanted a family. Now, as compassionate as Whitebeard was, we saw how ferocious he could be on the battlefield. Heaven and Earth is one of the most devastating moves we've seen in the series so far, in which it tilted the actual seas. The island was in a way rotating off its axis. Him having the power to destroy the world was not far-fetched at all. Whitebeard, even at his old age, competed with the top tiers of the Marines, and even after the several injuries that he took at Marineford, refused to fall and died standing up. Whitebeard of course also possessed every form of haki. We did not see his King's haki because of several heart attacks at Marineford, and haki also wasn't as fleshed out as it is now, most notably his engagement with Aokiji, in which they said that he was stabbed using haki. Whitebeard is always talked about on a separate level from the other Yonko. For Big Mom, even when she was talking about acquiring the power of giants, and we're going to talk about that, she said that she could defeat all the other Yonko, even Whitebeard, which sets him on a separate pedestal. They said that Whitebeard could become Pirate King, but he kneeled before the throne. He did not want that position. He just wanted to have a family, and that speaks to how powerful Whitebeard is. I think the thing that's even more interesting is that Whitebeard doesn't have a unbelievably notable running mate. Marco, of course, is his right-hand man, but Marco is not the devastating guy that Rayleigh is. But Whitebeard was on the level of Roger and was his rival for years. Yes, Whitebeard did have a commander spot vacant for a while, and that second person, whoever that could be, may have been the monster that was helping Whitebeard compete with Roger, but for now, Whitebeard was standing atop the pirate world as the single most destructive force for a long time. Whitebeard in his last moments was brilliant as well. We saw that he had a relationship with Roger even though they were intense rivals, and Roger even told Whitebeard about the Will of D. Whitebeard sparked a new era by telling Blackbeard that the person that Roger is waiting for is not him, and he told Sengoku that a war that will engulf the world is coming. He wasn't interested in the One Piece, but someone will find it and it will bring a reckoning. Whitebeard was truly a marvel and is still respected as one of the great pirates in One Piece and will always be respected as such. This man could have been much more devastating, but was was a gentle giant and chose to just live on the seas as a free man with a family. Big Mom in her own right is a special case because there's several things going on with Big Mom that we really have to talk about, that even though they're innocent, they're devastating, and that was Big Mom even from when she was a child. Big Mom, as childlike as she is now, she has always been that way, and we saw that when she was younger, when she would try to help people, but she would end up hurting them because of her overwhelming strength. She genuinely wanted to make things better, but because of who she was and how powerful she was, it ended up making things a lot worse. We saw Big Mom was able to kill a bear with one single strike. That's how powerful Big Mom was as a child. Mother Caramel, her benefactor, even said Big Mom at that age had the potential to become a admiral and even a fleet admiral based on everything she did to an entire giant town. Even the acquisition of her devil fruit is terrifying, in which she ate her benefactor Mother Caramel and her childhood friends while she was celebrating her 6th birthday. Big Mom didn't even realize this, but she attained the Soru no Mi, the soul fruit, so we pretty much know what happened. Big Mom ate these people. Now with Big Mom's devil fruit, the Soru no Mi, this is an amazing devil fruit. It's a lot of things that it can do, and it's somewhat overpowered, especially with Big Mom, someone of that caliber, using it. Big Mom can literally extract your soul, and of course, if she takes enough lifespan, she can kill you instantly. Big Mom can also infuse objects with soul and can make them have human traits and somewhat humanize them, and she refers to these things as homies. This is not only limited to objects, but she can also do this to animals, and of course this makes them more human. The entirety of Whole Cake Island, Tato Land, is run on Big Mom's power. From security to pure entertainment, Big Mom uses these soul fragments to place into homies that support the entirety of Whole Cake Island. At Big Mom's paradise, Tato Land, and this goes to show her influence and how much she impacts the world, the citizens have to give up a month's worth of their soul and lifetime every 6 months or they leave. Again, these soul fragments are collected by her incarnations, her black blobs, and they're sprinkled all over Whole Cake Island, and these create the homies that support Whole Cake Island. With her soul powers, she has also created 3 special homies: Napoleon, Prometheus, and Zeus. Napoleon is her bicorn, her hats. Prometheus is the sun, and Zeus is the thundercloud. She uses them to travel and to bolster her firepower. With these 2, she can create storms, and of course with Napoleon, he functions like the HQ of all the homies, so everything reports back to Napoleon. So Big Mom is most times always aware of what's going on in Whole Cake Island. Napoleon can also become a blade, and with Big Mom, she delivers devastating attacks such as Spear of Elbaf. Physically, you can say Big Mom is somewhat unmatched. Only by Kaito have we seen this level of durability, and there's still some more we have to see from Kaito to match up to everything that Big Mom went through. But for Big Mom, everything that the Straw Hats and anyone threw at her on Whole Cake Island, nothing was able to penetrate her. Of course, there's this special caveat of Mother Caramel, her benefactor. She had a picture of her, and if that picture was destroyed, then Big Mom would be wounded. So of course, whatever her ability is to deflect damage, it is dependent on her mental makeup. Big Mom can physically destroy towns by just walking. Of course, she can also wreak havoc on cities, and again, with Big Mom's mental makeup, that's important because Big Mom and her cravings, she can go berserk and go into a mode in which she doesn't acknowledge anyone or anything, and she's held hostage to her cravings. Big Mom also, above all else, loved to eat, and most things she did was to satisfy her cravings. And if it wasn't satisfied, of course, she would go on a rampage, because on a whim, she can decide to take you out. Big Mom and her tea parties and weddings, if she invites you and you decline to show up, she would send you the head of a relative, and then she would send you an invite again, and you better come to that one, even after killing someone close to you. Big Mom does not care. She is gluttonous, she is ravenous, and she is pretty much a psycho. Big Mom also had good intentions, which were motivated by Mother Caramel, which she wanted to create a nation of all races in which they can live happily together. But for Big Mom, she wanted everyone to be on the same level, eye level, and that's why she conspired with Caesar and his gigantification research. Big Mom in the past invested loads of money into Caesar's research because she wanted to see this come to fruition. I suppose this is a good thing by Big Mom, in which she isn't motivated by just one thing. I guess it depends on her mood, because Big Mom also still actively wants to become the Pirate King or Queen, whatever. And back in the day, Big Mom felt like she had the opportunity to, when she was going to marry Lola to Prince Loki, and then she would command control of the giants. Giants. The Giants army in Elbaf is also considered the strongest in the entire world, so for Big Mom, she felt like she had it in her grasp, and of course because of Lola running away to find true love and not wanting to marry Prince Loki, Big Mom tried to offer her sister Chiffon. They found out, and therefore the Giants hate Big Mom, and that leads to no Giants actually being a part of Big Mom's paradise. Big Mom, again with her sphere of influence, had several different races living in Tato land, so good intentions, and sometimes it would lead to bad results due to Big Mom's cravings. Big Mom, with all the power she possesses with the durability, Big Mom also has an amazing family. She has several sons and daughters, and that's what her entire crew is comprised of. And this crew has several strong members such as Katakuri, Smoothie, Oven, Cracker, Snack. She has several strong people working under her, and even her eldest son, who isn't really a combatant or considered a sweet commander, has a bounty over 700 million berry, and these kids are comprised of her military might. And for Big Mom to acquire and to have this many kids, she would get husbands, marry them, have kids with them, then dispose of them rather quickly. We saw that with Pound, in which she did not care for Pound anymore after having his kids. Big Mom was after the technology of the Germa 66 to bolster her forces after failing with Elbaf, and of course that was by the Straw Hats, so now Big Mom is on a revenge streak to get back at the Straw Hats. Of course, the Big News Morgans thing, in which Big News says that Luffy got a W in Big Mom, that did not help the whole narrative, and Big Mom definitely cares about her Yonko position and her prestige, so for her, that is unforgivable. So as far as strength, Big Mom has not really taken any damages yet. Her main issue seems to be endurance, but as far as strength, speed, attack power, all that is bolstered with her Soto no Mi by having Zeus and Prometheus, and also she's physically strong. She is a monster. So for Big Mom, again, a walking calamity. The next Yonko we're going to talk about is Kaito, and Kaito has been considered the strongest thing in the world, the strongest creature in the world. For Kaito, he wants to start the greatest war the world has ever seen, and for him, a lot of his military might come from Zoans. He's primarily focused on acquiring Zoan users to bolster his crew, and more specifically Smile users. Smile, of course, are artificial Zoan devil fruits, which were supplied by Doflamingo and Caesar, and of course this is discontinued because Doflamingo was defeated by Luffy. Kaito is devastating because for him being a strong creature, or the strongest creature, there are things that they talked about that made Kaito into a legend. So that Kaito was caught by the Marines no less than 18 times. He was tortured time and time again and always lived as a prisoner, and finally he attempted suicide. He did the very rare act of jumping from a sky island, and Kaito, when he landed from that jump, had a mild headache. He was sentenced to death 40 times. When he was hanged, the rope snapped. When put under the guillotine, the blade cracked. When skewered, the spear broke. Ultimately, he sank 9 different prison vessels, meaning none of these people were able to kill him. Kaito, for one, is the embodiment of a natural disaster, like I call the Yonko, walking calamities that bring forth destruction where they see fit. We haven't seen a lot of Kaito's combat prowess, but let's put this in perspective. Luffy versus Katakuri. Katakuri is the right hand of Big Mom, and of course Luffy took him to a high-diff fight in which Luffy came out victorious. The intricacies of that fight we won't get into. However, after doing that, acquiring Future Sight, fighting for 11 hours, Luffy went up against Kaito and did his best attacks against Kaito, and all it took was one blow from Kaito to incapacitate Luffy completely. Luffy was done with one decisive blow. This shows the level of difference between the Yonko and the commanders, or the Yonko and our main character. Again, Kaito being the warmonger that he is, we know that Kaito was trying to go to Marineford, and of course he was intercepted by Shanks. But for Kaito and his nature, he is also a crazy drunk, in which he has mood swings based on how drunk he is. Kaito's true strength isn't known yet, but for what he did against Luffy, that tells us all we need to know, and then he has a strongest title. The strongest titles are things in One Piece that you do not frown upon. Of course, Urashima from Wano, the strongest samurai or whatever, that's one that we don't really acknowledge. However, Kaito being the strongest thing in the world, that's something you have to acknowledge and respect. Whitebeard, the strongest man. We saw what he was capable of. Mihawk, the strongest swordsman. We know he was competing with a Yonko. So for Kaito, based on the legend of not being able to be killed and what he did to our main character, that's devastating in its own right. Of course, partnering with the Shogun of Wano Wano and occupying Wano for over 2 decades without much resistance also speaks to Kaito's strength and influence. After hearing about Kaito and Big Mom possibly meeting, the world government thought about sending somebody to Wano, and Akainu, who's normally the fiery person of this whole entire setup, tells Kizaru to calm down. We have to see how things play out first. That speaks to Kaito's strength, of course Big Mom's as well, but there really isn't much left to say about Kaito other than people say in a 1v1 fight, always bet on Kaito. Land, sea, and air. Out of every living thing in the world, this pirate is said to be the strongest creature alive, and based on what he did to Luffy, it's very hard to dispute that. Next, let's talk about Red-Haired Shanks and the strength that Red-Haired Shanks possesses, because for Shanks, he's shrouded in some mystery because we have no idea of his motivations. What we know about Shanks is that back in the day, he came to Luffy's island, and Luffy of course ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi. He was abducted by bandits, and Shanks gave his arm to save Luffy. He then gave Luffy his straw hat, and Luffy has become a pirate in the vein of Shanks, motivated by Shanks to become on Shanks' level. We've seen Shanks time and time again after that, and for the most part, Shanks is actively trying to maintain the balance in the world. Shanks went to Whitebeard to stop Whitebeard from going after Blackbeard after Blackbeard killed someone on Whitebeard's crew, and Ace went after Blackbeard. Shanks also went to intercept Kaito when Kaito was on his way to go to Marineford. Even after warning Whitebeard of what was to come, Shanks took that upon himself. We then saw Shanks at the Reverie, in which he was meeting with the Gorosei to talk about a certain pirate. And of course we can't forget, Shanks, after stopping Kaito, went to Marineford and stopped the war. So what is Shanks' goal? What is his motivations? He seems to have everything necessary to become the Pirate King. He seems to be the strongest Yonko, even though the narrator just said Kaito is the strongest thing. But regardless, what is his motivations? We have no idea, but let's talk about his strength and how his influence is amazing. I just mentioned what Kaito is capable of, and Shanks went to stop Kaito, and then after went to Marineford and challenged everyone there. Literally the only blemish on Shanks' record is what happened in the past with Blackbeard, in which he said facing Blackbeard back in the day, he was on guard and Blackbeard was able to scar him permanently. We still see the scars from his matchup with Blackbeard. Again, Shanks' combat prowess for the most part is not known, but to be able to stop someone like Kaito and then go to Marineford, he has my respect. His influence is obvious due to the fact that he was able to stop the Marineford War, and Sengoku even documented saying he's only doing it because Shanks is who he is, and also being able to have a meeting with the Gorosei. They said the same thing, pretty much echoed the same sentiments, saying we're only meeting with you because it's you. So for Shanks, there's some mystery in regards to his lineage and everything going on with him, and I can't wait for that to be revealed. Finally, we have Blackbeard, the final confirmed Yonko, not hearsay or fake news. Blackbeard, of course, was a subordinate of Whitebeard, not even a commander, just a regular person on Whitebeard's ship. And of course, he's the man that was able to scar Shanks pre-time skip or in the past. We don't know exactly when. And Blackbeard, as we know now, currently has 2 devil fruits. Blackbeard, for the most part, was a sleeping giant. And of course, he used Whitebeard's name to remain anonymous and to be under the radar. And once he had his moment, he stole it pretty much by killing a crewmate, Thatch, and then he acquired the Yami Yami no Mi. And after that, he was chased by Ace, and Ace lost to Blackbeard because Ace had a Logia, the Mera Mera no Mi, and for Blackbeard having the Yami Yami no Mi, which is the darkness fruit that consumes all light or consumes everything, Ace was not ready or prepared to take on Blackbeard. Blackbeard then turned Ace over to the world government, and that led to the Marineford War. At the end of the Marineford War, Blackbeard came in, finished off Whitebeard, then stole his Guru Guru no Mi. Blackbeard is currently the only person in the One Piece verse confirmed to have eaten 2 devil fruits and not die. Blackbeard's military might comes from not only his 2 devil fruits, but the people he has assembled. Blackbeard went to Impel Down as well, and he gathered the strongest of the level 6 prisoners and a warden. So Blackbeard bolstered not only his crew, his combat prowess, he was able to take down the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates during the time skip with relatively low effort, and Aokiji, a former Navy admiral, is working under him. So that also plays a part in his whole military might. And of course, knowing Whitebeard's territories, Blackbeard was able to take over those territories. So now he is acclaimed as a Yonko, and he's the most recent Yonko, but I think he's the most dangerous because of his ambitions. He's currently hunting devil fruits, and we know how sinister Blackbeard can be. So for Blackbeard, even though he is the newest Yonko, he is probably the one you should look out for the most because he takes advantage of opportunities. He is somewhat reckless like Luffy in regards to just doing things spur of the moment, but of course by doing that, he is also a D, not the D that Roger's waiting for according to Whitebeard, but he is a D, so he brings forth a storm anywhere he goes. And for Blackbeard, he was able to scar Shanks pre-Yami Yami, pre-Gura Gura, so that speaks to his strength as well, and of course his durability is insane. He took a full-fledged enraged attack from Whitebeard and pretty much shook it off with relative ease. He took an enraged jet pistol from Luffy and got up without much issue. He took a twin spear attack from Ace and got up without much issue, and his physical strength is overwhelming as well. He struck someone like Ace, who was known to be a physical monster back in the day. Ace was very strong for a kid, and Ace said with his attack almost broke his neck. And this is the anime adding a bit, but Blackbeard using a punch was able to lift Whitebeard off of the ground. So for Blackbeard, there's a lot there to write home about. However, we still have to get some more information about him. We know his crewmates are strong, we know he's collecting devil fruits, and his sphere of influence is growing. So for Whitebeard having the Quake and the Yami, again, walking calamities, this encapsulates everything the Yonko represent, and for all the Yonko, there are things about them that are devastating. And again, like Peckham said, this is the true power of a Yonko. When they want something, it's gonna happen because that's just how it has to be. So guys, that's pretty much how I feel about the Yonko. As far as their strength, it's hard to gauge them, but they are squarely atop the One Piece verse. There are few pirates in the One Piece verse that can take these people down, or I should say there are few people in the One Piece verse that can take these people down. Maybe that's a video in the future, people that can defeat a Yonko. However, let me know what you think about the Yonko overall and their strength, influence, power. Make sure you like the video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.